Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Scourge League 3.16. In this episode, I made the ultimate heist cheat sheet for 3.16. This is everything and anything you would ever need to know about heist in 3.16. All of the information, everything put together in a single page. Here we go. I hope you guys enjoy this. So then I'm also going to be going through it today in this video with you guys. Also, in the description is the link to the picture if you guys want it, so you can share it around. You could, save this, have this picture forever. Until heist changes, this is everything in a single page. So that's why I call it the ultimate heist cheat sheet. Here we go. So, first point, contracts, blueprints, and rogue markers drop from killing monsters in heist caches Act 6+. So that's how you actually get into heist, because... well, yeah, you can't do heist before Act 6, and then you can use a rogue marker to get to the rogue harbor. This is optional. You can talk to all the NPCs and unlock quests that cause heist caches to drop green contracts. Once you've done all those green contracts, instead of dropping the green contracts, you drop special unique boss contracts, which is extra bonus. You can press V to see the crew members in the Rogue Harbor. You unlock missing crew members using... you have to use the crew member in a heist contract to find the new one. So, for example, you use Tibbs to find Tulina. You use Tulina to find Nennet. And then, separately, you use Karst to find Huck. You use Huck to find Niles. You use Niles to find Vendiri. You use Vendiri to find Gianna. Level up your crew members' skills to max by completing contracts of the respective skill. More XP from higher item level contracts, so 83 better, and skill requirements. So level 5 of lockpicking gives more XP. Wait, that's already max. So let's say level 4 lockpicking gives more than a level 1 lockpicking. It's also better loot, more reward rooms, all around better. So then I wrote down each character and their skills and their max level of the skills. So I'm not going to read them all, but there you go. So you can refer to them if you wanted to know how close you were or how far you had to go for each one and what the max is, etc. This is my advice for regular contracts when you're doing them, leveling up your people, what you're going to target and what you're going to skip. So I skip enchanted chests, talismans, prophecies, essences, abyss, jewels, abyss unless item level 83, because this is T1 minion phys rolled on the abyss jewel. Armour, unless SSF going for a 6 link, so armor chest, weapon chest, jewelry, unless you're going for a headhunter drop, and maps, unless it's tier 14 plus, because, well, if you do under tier 14, it's just going to be bad map drops. Regular contracts, you're going to target currency, harbinger, fragments, fossils, divination cards, metamorph, delirium, unique, gems, random item, the question mark chest, legion, blight. Blight is thrown on here at the end because I remembered Blight scarabs, but honestly, I really hate getting maps with a Blight encounter, and it's usually bad and terrible, so Blight is like an honorable mention. It was almost in the skip category, but if I put it in the skip category, there's going to be one person who says, Ethan, I do Blight, and yeah, okay, fine, you can target Blight, but it's not very good, it's at the end. Okay. So if there's no target chest, I labeled this as target and there's skip. If you have no target chest, open the tiny chest, do not do a skip. You could go for jewelry, and essence maybe. Again, honorable mentions, extra maybe, maps maybe, but yeah. Crafting heist crew member gear once each one has a level 5 skill except for Huck, you just ignore him. So here's a warning. I didn't include this in previous heist videos, and I think this is very important because it's actually really expensive. So the heist crew gear is pretty expensive. The cost of my setup for your 8 crew members, ignoring Huck, obviously, is an average of 5,600 alterations. At the current price of 660 alterations per X, this is 8.5x to craft up all of your crew with the right gear, with the right mods. So then I broke down all of the gear by what you want, the item, and everything. So here's the item level 83 plus for a foliate brooch, and you're looking for heist chests, have 13 to 15% chance to contain duplicate basic currency, and it's about 200 alts per. Item level 82 plus for the whisper woven cloak, and you're going 11 to 12% reduced raising of alert level from opening chests, 100 alts per. Then you're going item level 81 plus of the weapon. I specifically picked Precise Arrowhead because it can also roll Purity of Ice, which I like more than the other auras you can run on the other weapons. So Purity of Ice is good for Tunnels and Repository because of the big robot who shoots an ice ball and it hurts a lot. It's the biggest hitting attack in the entire heist and it's very scary. It's the one-shot mechanic, so Precise Arrowhead can hit Purity of Ice. It's a second mod. Don't worry about it. You're going for increased job speed, 100 alts. If you're hardcore, Purity of Ice is sick in Heist. For tools, let's separate it into 2 categories. So this is 3 of the gear pieces. They're just 1 mod per, very easy. But for tools, we have to separate it into 2 categories. Some of your crew members you're going to be crafting one thing, and some of them you're crafting another thing. So 1 is +1 to level of all jobs for Heist. 2 is chance to not generate alert level from using the skill. So 1, item level 82 for the +1, and it's all 5 of these. Master Lockpick, Silk Weave Soul, Thaumatic, Flash Powder, Regicide Disguise Kit, and the Sensing Charm is Lockpicking, Agility, Demolition, Deception, and Perception. You're going to be doing this for Karst, Tulina, Vindiri, Gianna, and Nenit. You want +1 job on them, and it's 400 alts per, so you're crafting +1 to level of all jobs for Heist. The reason you want this on them is you raise up all of their skill levels. You get to use them on more blueprints and more contracts. You want to use Gianna and Niles on more contracts because they give you double reveals, and I'll explain that later with the double reveal section. They also give you a discount on reveals, which I'll explain later. You want more of Karst because of the reduction to alert level. He lets you open everything, and you want more Vindiri because he doubles the loot. He has a chance to double loot. Okay. So that's why we give them an extra level, because when they have an extra level, then you can use them on more that required, like, instead, let's say engineering level 2 on Vindiri, now he can go to level 3, therefore he could be used on a level 3 contract and a level 3 skill on a blueprint. Pretty cool. So item level, so the second one is item level 83 plus. It's a tool again, all 3 of these tools. The Thaumaturgical Ward, Steel Bracers, and the Thaumatic Blowtorch. So this is counter thaumaturgy, brute force, and engineering, and you're doing it for Niles. This is Tibbs, and this is Isla. You're crafting for 9 to 10% chance to not generate alert level on opening a chest using engineering, so it's or whatever skill. So in this case, brute force and counter thaumaturgy. 137 alts per. And then any bonus mods, so this is an honorable mention because this is already very expensive to just get these mods. But any bonus mods on these items is welcome, but the heist gear is already expensive enough. Cool. So I wrote here that heist targets vary. Heist contracts are completed by stealing the heist target and are stealing the heist target and artifact at the end of the contract and bringing it back. Heist artifacts can be sold to Faustus in the Rogue Harbor for rogue markers. This is the order of the value. Moderate, high, precious, priceless. Priceless is like 4 times higher than moderate, because the way it goes, I believe, is 0.85 value, so it's less than 1 value, and this is 3 times value. So it's almost 4 times higher than the moderate. Then we have double reveals explained. So when you complete contracts, you get reveals with Wakano to reveal blueprints with. But Gianna can reveal too. So when you complete a Gianna contract, instead of just getting a Wakano reveal, you get both. It works with Niles too. Free extra reveals. So you always, basically, if you have the option to use Gianna or Niles on a contract, you always use them for the extra reveal and the discounts. It's always better to use them on the contracts, and definitely not good on blueprints usually, because they don't do anything except Niles can open 1 chest after lockdown. Technically, he's half of a Tibbs. Okay, so Gianna also has a discount on revealing of 30%, and it goes to 35% with the +1 to level of all jobs. Niles has a discount of 10% that can't be scaled. It can't be increased with the +1 to all jobs, so that's why I don't do it. So that's why I give Niles the 9 to 10% chance to not generate alert level on opening a chest using counter thaumaturgy. Reveals are used on blueprints to unlock entire wings, as well as unlocking reward rooms and even an escape route. I never reveal the escape route. It's a waste of your reveals. Reveals are the main cost in running blueprints in Trade League, since you could just buy rogue markers to do more reveals. I value my reveals very highly, and you should too. Now in the top right, best crew members in order and why. So I think Gianna and Niles are the best on contracts because of the double reveals. This is literally one of the most. It's like the core of Heist is the reveal mechanic. It's what keeps it from being completely broken. It's what we used to abuse with the splitting of blueprints and keeping the reveals, and now the blueprints, when you split, they don't keep the reveals anymore. So it's all about reveals, and reveals are the cost. It's like running Sulfite, and so getting more, it makes these two the best, but only on contracts, not blueprints. Now, all around though, Karst is absolutely insane. He allows you to open everything. Vendiri, chance to double loot. Nenit, less alert level. Tulina, little bit less alert level. Tibbs lets you open 2 chests past lockdown. We got Isla extending lockdown, and there's also an honorable mention I forgot to put, is Niles. He lets you open 1 chest. Crew members don't stack on blueprints, so you don't get the bonuses from choosing 3 Karst. You don't get to open 6 chests with Tibbs after the lockdown. You don't increase the timer for a billion years with Isla 3 times, so don't stack them. Use different ones. That's why I told you the best ones, so you can use them for each of their benefits instead of only thinking you need 1 or 2 specifically. Best blueprint crew member team per wing is definitely Karst, Vendiri, and Nenit. Those are my favorites to have, all 3 of those together. That's my best team I could possibly get. Tulina's pretty good too because of the less alert level, same thing as Nenit, but yeah, and then probably Tibbs or the Niles because of the extra chest open. So then we have best current blueprint targets in order is unusual gems, replicas, then trinkets, then enchanted armaments. Unusual gems, alt quality gems is absolutely disgusting. It's sick. It's so fun to do. Blueprint reveal strategy. I save my Gianna reveals for revealing wings because a wing costs more than a reward room. I use Wakano reveals to reveal currency, divination, Harbinger, and Fragment chests, if tier 14 plus for the Fragment specifically. I only run my blueprints after I have crafted my Heist crew gear mentioned over here, this 8.5x gear, and then where did it go? I only run my blueprints after I've crafted my Heist crew gear, except for the 1 trinket slot, the 1 trinket for slot. So you know how I mentioned there's 4 blueprints? There's unusual gems, replica, trinket, and enchanted armaments. You can run the trinket blueprint, and you'll get a slot for a trinket, which you can use for incubating. So usually I'll run a low-level trinket blueprint very early on in the season for the extra incubator slot. Also, the trinket affects all of your heists, so you could get a really good trinket by buying it. As I mentioned down here at the end, I mentioned that you should probably get a 2% Regal to Exalted Orb trinket minimum to be doing Heist, and then you get a lot more out of it just by having the trinket slot. So this is how you get the actual trinket slot. Very important. You actually reveal the blueprints at Wakano, Gianno, or Niles. All 3 are valid NPCs. To pick your Heist crew team, you go into the planning room downstairs in the middle of the Rogue Harbor. Use the planning table and pick your best crew members, remembering they don't stack. Blueprints are the bread and butter of Heist League. This is where you make the majority of your profits, even though contracts are pretty good too. Trinket. I recommend a 2 to 4% chance in Heist for Regal Orbs to drop as Exalted Orbs instead. The 2% is a very cheap option, and the 4% is only twice as good, so you can't go wrong with the 2%. Pro tips. Like, for example, if the 4% is really expensive and the 2% is cheap, it's half the power for nothing, right? Pro tips. Contracts under level 68 aren't worth it. Why? Because they don't give reveals. I told you reveals is everything. As you can tell, it's all about reveals. I delete them. You can also buy, I think it's from Wakano, you can buy contracts, but they're under 68, so it's not worth mentioning. Higher skill requirement contracts are more rewarding all around. Rogue markers, reward rooms. Higher item level contracts are better. Highly recommend getting to 81 plus. 82 is even better. 83 is even more. It's actually crazy how much it scales in these top levels. And going from level 1 skill versus a level 5 skill, how many reward rooms you get, how, like, the layout of the thing, like how long it'll take you to clear it, the amount of loot, everything. It's so crazy. The rogue marker, like the target at the end will be higher, everything. The blueprints need a high item level to find great rewards. 4% trinket is eye level 80 plus. A 1% chaos to exalted is item level 83. No wonder it's worth so much, guys. Look at the item level difference. This is the ultimate mod on the trinket. So technically, if you could get a chaos to exalted, that's your dream. That's the best trinket, but it's so expensive that I don't recommend it for the average player, and you would have to do so much heist. You would pretty much be chaining blueprints for a while to be able to pay off the trinket, is what I'm trying to get at. If no good chests, you open tiny chests. I had this here, right? But I relisted it because it's in the pro tips, and I think it's really important. Because a lot of people will probably open like armor chests and all these weird chests, and I just recommend tiny. You'll get pure currency and stack decks, and it's good stuff. Don't forget the extra 2 safes at the end of most of the contracts and blueprints for extra loot. Don't alchemy orb your contracts. Just alchemy your blueprints and roll away from missing resistance or things affecting the alert level or bad curses, things you don't want to run, right? So why do we alch, and why don't we alch the contracts? So alching in heist gives more alert level reduction. We don't need it in regular contracts with our heist gear, but in blueprints there are way more things to open, therefore it's more useful. We definitely want the extra alert level reduction in blueprints. If there is no good heist target at the end of the blueprint, don't take a target. The lockdown won't trigger, and you can walk out of the blueprint with absolutely no risk of losing your stuff, because even if you die, you can just walk back in and get your stuff. I do this in enchanted armaments a lot because the rewards suck at the end. You can control-click Idea to quickly open the contract menu. You can control-click Faustus to quickly open the cell menu. Control-click Wakano to quick open the reveal blueprint menu. Higher level skills on the crew members provides bonuses to agility and increases job speed. So I mentioned earlier that you could get the +1 to level of jobs, and I did it on 5 of them. And so the main reason is the bonus to the ability. You get the extra reveal discount, you get the extra reduction to alert level for Karst, you get the chance to double loot on Vendiri, you get less alert level on Nenit, less alert level on Tulina, right? These things are insane, but then there's also increases job speed because it actually takes into account the level of the skill that you have versus the skill requirement. So if you're doing a level 1 skill or a low level contract, you will have a faster job speed. And when you do a higher level contract with a higher level skill, it's a slower job speed. Not just your innate job speed, it's also how hard the skill is. And then, is Heist worth it? Yes. But I would recommend getting a 2% Regal to Exalted Trinket because it's very cheap and it's half the power of a 4%, which is quite expensive. And this is like free money, basically. Just get some free money. That's what I recommend. It's better than nothing, and every other trinket is pretty much like nothing, where this is actually a pretty significant difference if you run it. So I highly recommend it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this heist cheat sheet. It was absolutely insane. There's only one thing I know that I've left out going through this, and it's what are the specific reward types for the exact contracts and the skills and how those match up and which contract you should do for each skill, for each reward type. But I do all my contracts, and I do in this area about which targets you target and which ones you skip covers the contracts. And you just do tiny chests, and it's very rewarding, and you do all the contracts that you get because it's just easier to run your contracts, especially if you're only getting item level 81 to 83 because you're only playing Awakener 8, Endgame, you only get 14 plus, and if you're playing T16, then you get the 16 plus, and that's pretty cool. Then the side thing, technically you're like the best ones you could run first, I guess. If you wanted which ones to prioritize, which ones are you going to make the most out of, it's going to be your lockpicking, your deception, maybe your demolition. Those are your fun ones. The reason deception is good is because you get stacked decks, divination cards, and you get to also use Gianna. There's also no doors on your way out. This is an honorable mention basically for the thing, but I'm not listing it here. The lock picking is good because it's currency and it's cars, so you get to open all the chests. And demolition is good because it can give you mystery chests plus delirium, and it's Vindiri, which can double the loot. Those are the sick ones. But again, I think that the regular contract target thing with the skip and the overall is better advice than telling people to not do some of their contracts and to only do some others. I'd rather give them the overall what I do, which is my advice, my cheat sheet. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Now I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon and my YouTube members who financially support the channel. I can't do this without you guys, so thank you guys for all the support, and thank you to anyone who joins the Patreon and the YouTube members today, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. I hope you guys get a lot of money. I hope you guys get rich. I hope this allows you to take advantage of Heist and completely break it, and enjoy the hell of it.